Hello and welcome back to another YouTube video. Today I'm going to be covering the patch 13 notes, so let's get into it. There are a bunch of cool new skins. It's a fairly small patch, but as we're seeing at the moment, SpiderX is tweeting a bunch of 13.10 changes and mid-season changes, so I will cover them probably in a bit. But for the moment, let's go over the 13.9 changes. So to begin with, Neeko is getting her Midscope update. I have already covered this in a different video, but for the brief rundown, it's to help her feel more interactive with the game, being able to change into more objects, being able to change into jungle monsters, being able to change into traps and stuff like that. Her overall kit is going to have more AP ratios within it. It's also going to do a lot more damage towards jungle monsters, so expect to see a bit of jungle Neeko. Overall, looks exciting. Hopefully, it'll be fun to play and not too overpowered when it goes live. It's all really cool. So, Aatrox is the first change other than a Midscope. He's gaining 2% target's maximum health based on level at the later ranks. It's not going up early ranks, so this is a partial revert to the nerfs which took him out of pro play in the first place. His R is also gaining 10 to 20% more movement speed, going from 50 to 80 to 60 to 100. These are both just either partial or full reverts of nerfs he has received in the past. These aren't going to do a huge amount, but as Aatrox has received a couple of buffs more recently, things towards his W, overall itemization, I wouldn't be surprised if Aatrox starts getting a bit more popular and the people start picking him up again. But overall, not a huge amount of changes here, just a case of when he receives more changes, like maybe next patch or in patches after, combined with the patches the changes he's received in previous patches, it could all add up to a decent amount. And this might genuinely push Aatrox back into the meta, even though it's a small change. We'll have to see. Amumu is having his W changed from 12 to 28 scaling to 20 at all ranks, damage per second, and the percentage health max damage per second is going from 1 to 1.6 to 1 to 2%. This is a revert to a nerf he previously received. It's also a, the flat damage is going to be nicer when you're not maxing this ability, so this will now definitely push it towards being a last max ability. Overall, just going to help him out a decent amount, helps him in more elite heavy play, also helps him in support quite nicely where you're maxing W last. Overall, just nice changes towards Amumu. I don't expect this to shift him too much, but Amumu can be quite volatile even with small changes. Bel'Veth is losing 0.2 AD growth and gaining for 20% more damage to monsters, which is really weird because Bel'Veth is already a really good jungler at the moment. This just hurts her ability to flex towards lanes and possibly play in lanes. This will also hurt the Bel'Veth support, but it could also help it in a way if you're going for the invades on the camps. Overall, a bit of a weird change towards Bel'Veth. Definitely weird, mostly because she's already strong in the jungle. This is just going to amplify her clear a significant amount. Jinx is losing 0.25 AD growth. This is what everyone's been memeing on Twitter recently. It's not a huge nerf. It's going to do something, obviously, but overall, it's very minimal. Jinx will still hold the top spot for ADCs. Yeah. Kill is having her kit changed towards being a bit nicer on the R. This is where her R is now a larger range and she can attack more freely during it. In turn, she's going to be nerfed a slight bit, so her EAP ratio is going to go down by 5%. The scaling on the waves is going to go from 15 to 35 based on A rank to 20 to 41 based on champion level, levels 11 to 18. But it obviously didn't make much sense having it on E rank when a lot of the time you were maxing E first, so you'd already have the full damage by the time you got to level 11. The R is going to have its cast time reduced by 1 second. The area of effect radius is going to go from 525 to 675, 675, 775. No longer lowers her range when casting on herself. The invulnerability duration is going to go from 2.5, 3 to 2.5. The time delay until swords fall is going from 1.5 to 2.5, and the magic damage is going to go down by 100 at the later ranks. It's also going to lose 10% AP ratio. Overall, we have to see how these KO changes land her. It's not a huge amount, but overall, just being able to do a lot more freely during the ultimate can be enough to make Kel really strong. Sion is losing some health on, overall is going to be losing 1 to 1.5 seconds duration on the passive through health decay going from 2 to 19, 1 health per level to 2.3 to 24.4. 1.3 per level. So if we're just nerfing the passive a slight bit, it's going to hurt the inting playstyle of Sion. But of course, if you're not dying that much on Sion, then it really doesn't hit you that much. Swain, this is going to be one of the more interesting ones this patch, is gaining 5 flat damage on the Q and 2% AP ratio on the Q as well. Overall, these will help Swain's laning. This is his spammable ability. Having this do a bit more damage in team fights, possibly going upwards from like, oh, obviously it's going to be like 7 when you have 100% AP. 300 AP, you're looking at more like 11 damage on the Q. Just getting maybe 5 to 15 Qs in a team fight, you're looking at a 50 to 150 damage amplify, which is a large amount on a champion like Swain. This will obviously help his tank builds more. The flat damage is going to be a lot more valuable, especially when it's only a 2% AP ratio increase, so you will need 250 AP to even this out. So yeah, gonna help Swain's tank builds, but also just gonna help him in general. So we'll have to see how this one lands him. Swain's already a decent mid laner. Talia getting a slight QOL change. The cast knockout is no longer going to be whenever Talia takes or deals damage. It's only going to be whenever Talia takes damage. So you can now auto someone and still ult. Trundle's base attack speed is going to go up, and the base mana is also going to be increased. Trundle is performing quite poorly in the jungle and the top lane at the moment. These are very small changes, but Trundle tends to be volatile towards small changes, as these are very stat-stick champion. Base mana is obviously going to help him more in the top lane. Base attack speed is going to help him more in the jungle because it increases his clear speed. Overall, we have to see how this lands him. Not a huge change, but once again, Trundle doesn't need huge changes to be helped a decent amount. Volibear is going to be gaining 1% bonus health on the W physical damage, and the heal ratio is going to go from 7 to 13 to 8 to 16%. These are quite nice for Volibear. Of course, if you're going the more health stacky Volibear build, then it's going to help him a lot more. Things like Titanic are going to have a lot of value with the bonus health and quite nice AD scalings. But heal base on missing health is also going to be nicer for the high health builds, as you're going to gain more value, as you're going to be losing more, well, as you're going to be missing more health at certain breakpoints. So overall, quite nice towards tank Volibear. We'll have to see where this lands him. It doesn't do a huge amount early game, but as you get points into that W towards the level 9 mark, you will feel the missing health heal increase. And as you get a lot more bonus health, the physical damage might become a lot more noticeable. We'll have to see. Overall, just nice changes towards Volibear. Put him in a better spot. Lich Pain is gaining 10 AP. We are going to have to see how this feels on champs like Kale, Echo, Fizz, Eve, Victor. These are all champs which can use this item quite well. So we'll have to see how they land after these changes. Eve and Echo, of course, doing quite well in the jungle at the moment. Fizz, already a very strong mid laner. So this could push some of them over the edge. Emo Will is getting a slight buff. It's going to have more slots. Nice. ARAM adjustments, MSI Cup Clash. I thought I should be Clash Cup. Behavioral systems, in-game reporting, mute updates, mutual and self-mutes. So overall, quite nice behavioral system. Bug fixes and QoL changes. Just a decent amount of them. A couple of skin bug fixes as well. Oh, this is really sad actually. This has been in the game for a long time. A couple of skins as well. 8 Ink Shadow skins, so these do look really good. I would recommend getting them if you main one of these champions. The Prestige Ink Shadow Yeso, see people really like simping over. The Asol one, of course, is going to be the one I get. I really enjoy playing Asol. He is my favourite mid laner to play at the moment. A couple of MSI emotes, and that's it. So not a huge patch, but in a bit I will cover all the new changes going into the mid-season. Big changes. So yeah, look out for that. Goodbye.